begin our discussion for today. All of you, please repeat along with me the prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatai Deshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Everyone together, raising their both hands high up. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we welcome all the kids again for this everyday Mahabharata sessions that we're doing in the evening. And for those who have joined us recently this week, so just let me tell you how we are conducting this Mahabharata series. At my side, I'm giving classes thrice in a week, 3 classes in a week, and I'm going through all the parvas. There are 18 sections or 18 chapters or 18 cantos of Mahabharata. So we have already discussed the Adi Parva, Sabha Parva, and we are on the 3rd Parva, that is called as Vana Parva, which is said to be the longest section of Mahabharata, which covers the 12 years of exile of Pandavas. And that's the reason it's the longest. A lot of things that happened during the 12 years of exile. And we are now on the concluding incidents of the Vana Parva. Today I'll be speaking about Karna. This makes the 10th episode of the series of Mahabharata discussion. And tomorrow we'll be concluding with the Vana Parva section, and then we'll go to the Virat Parva day after tomorrow. So with us, we also have Shardul Prabhu and his guest Ananta Shesh Prabhu. And for them, we have assigned or we have requested them to speak in the modules. So they're speaking selected stories and maybe bringing out some lessons or maybe sharing the knowledge about it. So you might, across both the groups, sometime come across a similar stories being discussed. But at our side, we'll ensure that we don't go into the details of the story if the story has been already related or have been told to you before. So with that as a background, just for the sake of the new students who have joined us lately. So let's begin with our topic, Karna, which is the 10th episode. And yes, one last thing, those of you who have joined us recently, I will request you to do hear the first 2 episodes of this series. I believe the video recordings of it are available on the YouTube channel. You can ask for the YouTube channel information on the WhatsApp group. So let's begin over the topic that we have, Karna in focus, because there is a lot of things that happen in the 12th year of exile, which was also centered around the character of Karna. So what had happened, what we discussed in the previous session. So the 12th year of the Vanvas for Pandavas have begun. They're in the 12th year of the Vanvas, and they have come down from the Gandhamadhan mountain, Parvat, or Gandhamadhan Parvat, which has the abode of Kuvera, after living for 4 long years. Bhima and Arjuna one day went to Yudhishthira and they said, this is such a comfortable and such a beautiful place. If we continue living here, we will not feel like going back to earth and fulfilling the vows that Bhima had taken to kill all the 100 sons of Dhritarashtra, and will not be able to take revenge for the insult the Kauravas did to Draupadi. We need to go back to earth. And like that, Pandavas came to Badrinath, and from Badrinath they came to Kamyaka. When they came to Kamyaka, which was not very far away from Hastinapur, so Dhritarashtra and the Kauravas got to know that Pandavas have returned and they're just camping nearby, just 100, 50 kilometers away, not far off from Hastinapur. So that time Shakuni proposed to Duryodhan and Karna, why don't we go and tease and insult the poor Pandavas? Let us take their opulence and their wealth, which they had accumulated at Indraprasth, and let us go and enjoy. Let's have a party at the bank of the river across which the Pandavas are living. And let's build a huge pleasure and entertainment house. We will enjoy, we'll have big parties, and we'll tease the Pandavas for their poor, poverty-stricken condition like that. So Duryodhana agreed. He was extremely happy. He was always happy whenever he got a chance to insult Pandavas, because that's the nature of envy. He was so envious of Pandavas. So Duryodhana went to that forest, Kamikavan, with an intention to cause insult and to harm Pandavas. However, destiny had some other plan. In other words, Indra, the father of Arjuna, got to know what Duryodhana is planning, and he requested the king of Gandharvas, Chitrasen. This is all we have discussed in the previous session, so don't mind, I'm just giving you a quick synopsis. These are the details, these are the topics which we discussed last session in detail, so this is just a summary, concise. So Indra got to know that Duryodhana has an evil plan, so he asked Gandharva, the king of Gandharva, Chitrasen. I see the kids are raising their hands. Is my voice audible to everyone? I've just enabled the chat. Are you all able to see the screen, as well as are you all able to hear me properly? I've enabled the chat, you can type in. Okay. So I'm not sure why you all are raising your hands, or maybe you're just getting excited. Okay, fine. So Chitrasen comes to Kamikavan, and he's sporting along with other Gandharvas in the river, and he becomes a spoil sport for Kauravas, particularly Duryodhana's plan. And Duryodhana gets into a fight with Chitrasen, and Chitrasen, along with his army, defeats Kaurava's army led by Duryodhana, Karna, and Shakuni. So much so that Karna and Shakuni had to run away from the battle. They were so severely injured, and Chitrasen captures Duryodhana like a dog, like a wild animal, and decides to take him back to heaven to present him to Indra to decide what punishment should be given. In the meantime, one of the army person or soldier of Kaurava army went across the side of the river and went to the camp of Yudhishthira Maharaj, to the hermitage, where Yudhishthira Maharaj was performing fire sacrifice along with his wife Draupadi and the sages like Dhaumya Rishi. And the soldier came and said, Pahimam, please protect us. The best of the Kauravas, the most strongest and the valorous, the charitable king, or the prince of Kaurava dynasty, the sun and the moon of the eyes of everyone, has been brutally kidnapped or captured by Chitrasen. Please protect Duryodhana. So that time, as we discussed, Yudhishthira Maharaj sent Arjuna along with other Pandava brothers to rescue Duryodhana. And there's a big fight that happens between Gandharvas and Arjuna. And finally, Arjuna was able to rescue Duryodhana. Not rescue, Chitrasen and Arjuna both came back to Yudhishthira Maharaj. And Yudhishthira Maharaj said, Chitrasen, he is our brother, so please leave him. So like that, Duryodhana got free. He was set free from the clutches of Chitrasen with the help of Yudhishthira Maharaj, with the help of Arjuna and Bhima, who he hated. Just to insult them, Duryodhana had left Hastinapur and come to Kamyakavan, and he had put his camp at the side of the river just to insult. And now he is totally humiliated. Now Yudhishthira Maharaj ends up saving the life of Duryodhana. And we were discussing last time a very important lesson. We should never ever wish inauspicious for others. If you wish harm for others, it in fact brings harm for oneself. And that's what happened to Duryodhana. At that point of time, Duryodhana was so insulted and humiliated, and he decided that I shall commit suicide. And you remember that I discussed how Duryodhana, when he set out in meditation, thinking that he will commit suicide, at that point of time, the demons becomes active, and the demons contact the Duryodhana. And that's the time we discussed about Duryodhana's past life. And also the demons tell Duryodhana, don't be discouraged. You don't know who you are, but let us tell you, you are the sons of the demon. You are the son of the demons. And you have been blessed by Lord Shiva because we have attained you by performing severe austerities. Your body is like a thunderbolt, and don't worry, such loss and defeat keeps happening. But in the ultimate war of Kurukshetra, Duryodhan, we all demons will come and fight on your behalf, and Bhishma, Dronacharya, Kripacharya, we all will corrupt their mind and they will also support you. And not to forget Karna. And that's the time the demons told Duryodhan about Karna's past life, which I had briefly narrated, but today we'll discuss in a little more in length. And the demons told Duryodhan, Karna is there particularly to make you win the war. Don't worry. Rise up and go back to Hastinapur. Like that, Duryodhan regained his faith. He became happy knowing that I have a strength and I have the support of the whole demons from the lower planetary system. And like that, along with Karna, Shakuni, and other brothers, he came back to Hastinapur, forgetting everything that had happened in the Kamya Bhavan. However, the Kauravas seniors, the elders in the Kauravas, could not forget what had happened with Duryodhan. When Bhishma got to know that Duryodhan had returned back to Hastinapur, Bhishma decided to visit Duryodhan. At that point of time, Duryodhan was sitting in his chamber as usual with Shakuni on his left and Karna on his right. And Karna was not there. That time Dushasan was there. And Bhishma Pitama went to the chamber of Duryodhan. And Bhishma Pitama advised, Duryodhan, don't you see you wanted to insult Yudhishthira Maharaj and other brothers, the Pandavas. In fact, they ended up rescuing you. You think your Karna will save you? Karna was so badly defeated in the fight with Gandharvas that he left you to die in the hands of the Gandharvas and he ran away. And you think your Karna would fight against Arjuna and defeat him? Please don't stop acting foolishly. This is still the time is there. Call Pandavas back, give their rightful kingdom. You live happily and let them live happily. Get this Sutasan Karna out of this place. He is a very envious soul. He hates Arjuna and he has no valor, no strength to fight against Arjuna. As Gandharva could defeat him, what would he do against Arjuna? And like that, Bhishma Pitama spoke very strongly, advised Duryodhana, stop this feeling of your envy, stop hating them, it's not good for you. However, Duryodhana did not speak a word because Duryodhana was laughing within his mind. Do you know why Duryodhana was laughing? Duryodhana was thinking, Bhishma Pitama, I know you love your Pandavas a lot, but don't worry. When the time for war will come, my demon friends from the Patal Lokas have promised me that they will corrupt your mind and you will also fight on my behalf. So Duryodhana was certainly laughing off, thinking that Bhishma Pitama doesn't know what's going to happen in the future, and he did not respond to anything to Bhishma Pitama. Bhishma Pitama understood that Duryodhana is not going to listen, and he walked away from the inner the chambers of Duryodhana and went back to his palace. Duryodhana got up from his place and he decided to visit Karna. And he went and met Karna and he narrated everything what happened to Duryodhana just now in his meeting with Bhishma Pitama. So Duryodhana told Karna, Bhishma Pitama told like this against you. He has no faith on you. He thinks you are a useless warrior. At that point of time, Karna felt really hurt and he felt greatly insulted. And then Karna said, enough is enough. This old Kaurava has no capacity to take any sides, which means Bhishma, and he's calling me that I don't have courage, that I could not fight and support you. No, I'm going to prove this old man. And that's the time Karna said, Oh Duryodhan, give me an army and I shall alone conquer the world for the Kauravas. Now, why did Karna ask for this? Because when Pandavas had established Indraprastha, so Yudhishthira Maharaj had performed Rajasuya sacrifice. So to perform Rajasuya sacrifice, they needed a lot of wealth and they needed the support of every ruler of the world. So Arjuna had gone all over the world, winning all over the world. Or in other words, winning all over the kingdom. And because Karna had this so much hatred for Arjuna, so he always wanted to compete with Arjuna. So he said, just like Arjuna had gone all over the world and he had brought great fame to the Pandava clan, Similarly, Duryodhan, your friend Karna, will go and bring a great name and fame of Kaurava's clan. Allow me, just as the Pandavas did before the Rajasuya sacrifice. Let the wicked-minded wretch of the Kurus, the senile Bhishma, senile का मतलब होता है old, fragile, old person, see it and regret how he has treated me. Simply command me and I shall leave at once. So Duryodhan was a prince but not a king. However, Dhritarashtra was hardly bothered about the administration. Duryodhan, despite being a prince, actually acted like a king. And Dhritarashtra was more concerned about sitting on the throne and with the tag that he is a king of Hastinapur and all the world. So when Duryodhan heard this, Duryodhan was excited. He was like, "Oh yes, 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 my dear Karna, you have all my blessings. I'll give you my whole army. Please march today. I'm so happy." However, Bhishma and Vidura did not approve of Karna's decision, but they did not interfere also. Bhishma thought this fool Karna, he boasts a lot about himself. Some king would defeat him and then he'll come back crying. Why should I unnecessarily disturb him? So like that, Bhishma and Vidura thought, let's not interfere the plan of Karna, let him go. Let's see what he can do. However, Karna indeed was successful. He went out for 1 complete year, traveling all over the world and winning all over the world. And he came back with truckloads. Of course, there were no trucks. I mean, to say the cartloads of, of wealth. And when he came, there was a great celebration at Hastinapur. All the Kaurava, seniors of the Kauravas came out to welcome Karna. And Karna was shining with his pride that, yes, I have finally proven myself how great I am at that point of time. Yet, Duryodhan was still not happy and satisfied. Of course, a great feat has been achieved by Karna, but Duryodhan was still thinking, how do I get back on Pandavas? The citizens of my country still do not accept me as great as Pandavas. What should I do? And that point of time when Karna came back with a lot of wealth, so Duryodhan was advised by his group of people or council or ministers that why don't Duryodhan you perform a Rajasuya sacrifice? Yudhishthira performed, and if you can perform Rajasuya sacrifice, everyone would accept you. It would be fantastic. The purpose of any sacrifice is to please Lord Vishnu. However, for Duryodhan to perform a sacrifice was not to please Vishnu, but was to prove himself that he is equal, if not better than Pandavas. So like that, he discussed with the sages in the Hastinapur. However, the sages said, led by Kripacharya and others, Dronacharya, Kripacharya and others, that you cannot perform Rajasuya sacrifice. Anyone knows what was the reason why Duryodhan could not perform Rajasuya sacrifice? Okay, so please mark it as a question. I would like you to go and ask your parents or maybe just check out somewhere. And when we meet tomorrow, let's see if you're able to find out. Again, my question is, why Duryodhan could not perform Rajasuya sacrifices? The sages or the Brahmanas at Hastinapur told Duryodhan that you cannot perform Rajasuya sacrifice. You're not qualified. The 2 reasons were given. So let's see if you can figure it out. Okay, of course, it's a little difficult. You might have to ask your parents, maybe ask your friends, or maybe ask another devotees. And let's see who comes back with an answer tomorrow. Is the question clear? Yes? Raise your hands if the question is clear. Or raise your hand in the whatever thumbs up you have. Yes. Yes, great. I cannot see all of you right now, but you can give your thumbs up on the Zoom. Okay, great. The question is clear, all of you. So then Duryodhan asked, oh, okay, if I cannot perform Rajasuya sacrifice, then what should I do? Then, as an act of envy, as he wanted to perform sacrifice, not for the pleasure of Vishnu, as I said in the beginning. So the sages, the Brahmanas advise that Duryodhan, there is an equivalent sacrifice to Rajasuya sacrifice. You're not able to perform that, but you can perform this. Duryodhan said, what is that? Please tell me what is that? And the sages said, the name of that sacrifice is Vaishnava sacrifice. So he said it had never been performed in the past by any mortal. Only the Devatas have performed it. In fact, Vishnu had only performed it, no one else. If you can perform this, your glory would spread not only this planet, but on all the three worlds. You should immediately prepare for this Vaishnava sacrifice and call everyone to attend this great sacrifice and great ceremony. And Duryodhan became excited and he began to prepare. And at that point of time, Duryodhan, when he started to prepare the invite list, do you know? Let's say I'll enable the chat so we can reflect now. So the very first invitation that he drafted, make a guess for whom Duryodhan would have drafted the first invitation. The very first invitation was sent by Duryodhan to his very dear friends, to whom he loved and remembered all the time. Who was the dear friends to whom did he send that invitation, the first invitation? No, why would he invite Karna? Karna is anyways part of the yajna, not Karna. Shakuni is his mama. Why would he invite Shakuni? Are they relatives? No, they're already there. The first invitation was sent to Pandavas because, as I said, the whole purpose of the sacrifice was to insult the Pandavas, was to tell the world that I can also accomplish great things. So that's the reason. Oh, okay, fine. So today I'm getting a request not to disable the chat. All right. So in the meantime, let's come back to the topic. So Duryodhan, the very first invitation he drafted was for Yudhishthira Maharaj with an intention to tease them, to again embarrass them and humiliate them, with an idea saying that, see, in your absence, we are able to achieve great things. And because of which, the citizens of my country and the whole world would accept me as great as you are, or maybe more. So the invitation was sent to Yudhishthira Maharaj. And let's see how did Yudhishthira Maharaj responded to the invitation. Let's take a look at it. So when the messenger came to Yudhishthira Maharaj was so glad. Why he was so glad to hear the news? Because Yudhishthira Maharaj had no envy in his heart. And Yudhishthira Maharaj said, it is indeed fortunate that Duryodhana is performing such a great sacrifice. I would very much like to attend, but it will not be possible. I cannot leave the forest until my vow is completed. Duryodhana will see me in Hastinapur only when the 13 years of exile are over. So Yudhishthira Maharaj was very composed in his response. However, there is one brother among the Pandavas, okay, the chat is enabled again, who gets angry very quickly, particularly whenever the names of Duryodhana and Kauravas comes, his blood boils immediately. And he wants to smash their head. And who that person is? Yes, that is Bhima, who's just building up his muscles and just getting ready to fight with the Kauravas when the 13 years of exile is over. So Bhima screamed at the top of his voice. He said that rascal Duryodhan, what he thinks of himself, I know why he has sent you to us. He wants to humiliate us. He wants to insult us, tell us that he is performing a great sacrifice and he knows the Yudhishthira Maharaj will not come there until he has finished his 13 years in exile. Yet he sent the messenger. His intention is just the same. Like he had come earlier to Kamikavan, he wanted to come and insult us, but he got humiliated by us. Similarly, I tell you, messenger, go and tell Duryodhan, because he wants to insult and humiliate us, his sacrifice will not be successful. He will be more humiliated. And like that, messenger went back. What to do? And in the meantime, the great arrangements and preparation was done for a huge sacrifice. And sacrifice was completed. And everyone was glorifying Duryodhan. Wow, what a great accomplishment, what a great sacrifice you have performed. A lot of charities were given, a lot of wealth was distributed. Everyone was very happy. However, when Duryodhan was returning back to his kingdom, he thought now the citizens would have accepted him to be equal to Pandavas. But that was not the case. When he entered Hastinapur, or when he entered his palace, or when he was, not the palace, when he entered Hastinapur after performing the fire sacrifice, the great sacrifice, Duryodhan was devastated. Why Duryodhana was devastated? Because the citizens of Hastinapur were comparing the Rajasuya Yajna to the Vaishnava Yajna which was performed by Duryodhana. And the citizens were saying, what have you done? Our Yudhishthira Maharaj Yajna was so grand. Duryodhan, you cannot match up with the grandeur and the pomp of Yudhishthira Maharaj, the glory of Yudhishthira Maharaj and the Pandavas. You are a useless chap. You cannot do anything. Duryodhan, when he heard that his citizens are criticizing him, despite he putting his best effort to try to match up with Pandavas, he was totally devastated. Once again, Duryodhan wanted to insult Pandavas, he himself got insulted. It's a repeated lesson that we see, and it's a very important lesson as a growing up kids. We have to be careful not to get into this whole ideology of harming others or thinking ill about others. When we think ill or bad about others, we only cause harm to oneself. And that's what the character of Duryodhana represents. So Duryodhana is devastated and he's literally crying in his chambers. At that point of time, Karna visits. And Karna, looking at the condition of Duryodhana, he takes a vow. Please note, I hope all of you are making notes when I'm giving the sessions. So you get the whole sequence of events, when and how it happened. Now, what is going to happen today and tomorrow's session has a great influence in the 18 days of war. So you'll be able to connect, otherwise you'll be later on confused with what's happening. So Karna takes a vow. So what vow did Karna took? And Karna said, O king, as long as I have not killed Arjuna, I will not accept luxuries. I will give to anything they ask of me. When asked for something in charity, I will never say I cannot give it. Please pay attention. Karna have taken a vow at this point of time just so that the vow gives him a strength. In other words, that's an austerity he's performing. And what vow he has taken? That unless I killed or until I killed Arjuna, I take a vow of giving anything and everything in charity if somebody comes and asks me. In other words, a Brahmana comes and approaches me, I will never ever say no. So Karna is glorified for being Danavir. People say Karna was so charitable. But what was the intention of his charity? The purpose for which he had taken a vow was to kill a pure devotee of Lord Arjuna. He wanted to kill him, and just to get the strength to kill him, he had taken a vow for that. So what is the quality of vow, first of all? However, when Duryodhana and other sons of Dhritarashtra heard this vow of Karna, they cheered, they clapped, they embraced Karna. They were like, thank you, we have full faith on you. And why Duryodhana was so much counting on Karna? Because Karna had something special with him. I have enabled the chat again. What special thing that Karna had? Because of that special thing, Karna could never be killed. He was blessed with that special thing from his childhood. Yes, that is Kavach and Kundala. Correct. Thank you. So Duryodhana knew because he has this Kavach and Kundal, he cannot be killed. He may be defeated, but he cannot be killed. So he really counted on him. However, in the meantime, when the 12th year, because this is during the Vanvas period, that's the reason I'm talking about Karna's story here. When the 12th year was about to end, that time Indra got to know about Karna's vow. Now, what is the relationship between Indra and Pandavas? Once again, I have enabled the chat. What is the relationship between Indra and Pandavas? There is, one particular relationship with one of the Pandavas. What is that? Yes, he's Arjuna's father. So Indra was always concerned for the well-being of Pandavas. Not only because he was the father of Arjuna, but because they were devotees of the Lord. So Indra wanted to protect Pandavas. So Indra thought, let me disguise myself as a Brahmana and approach Karna, and I will ask him to give me his Kundal and Kavachin as a charity. So when Indra was planning like this, who is father of Karna? chat window is open, enabled, okay? Who was father of Karna? And who was the mother of Karna? Yes, and what's the name of mother? Yes, correct. Kunti, and yes. So Surya Dev, being father of Karna, appeared to Karna in his dream. And he appeared in the form of a Brahmana and he glorified Karna. And then he said, Karna, I am your well-wisher. So Suryadev appeared in the form of a Brahman, not as a Suryadevta. Because Karna was not aware that he is a son of Suryadevta and Kunti. So Suryadevta could not tell him what is the relationship. So Suryadevta came as a Brahmin and he warned Karna, I am your well-wisher and I have come here to warn you that Indra, father of Arjuna, will be coming to you in a short span of time as a Brahmin to ask in charity of your Kundal and Kavach. Thus I request you not to give the Kundal and Kavach to him. However, Karna said, O Brahmana, O sage, I'm grateful to you for your advice, but I cannot follow your words of advice. Why? Because my vow is very dear to me. How can I give up my vow that I've taken? I am a Kshatriya. I've taken a vow. I cannot break my vow. However, the Surya tried to, dissuade or discourage Karna from giving into the demand of Indra. But Karna said, no, I cannot, although I appreciate your concern. So finally, Surya Devta told Karna, hey Karna, all right. If that is the case, so here is my request to you. If you have to fulfill your vow, so just don't fulfill the vow. What you do? You ask for an exchange. You tell Indra that you're willing to give your Kundal and Kavach, but in return, he should give his most powerful weapon, Shakti. He should give you his Shakti weapon, and if you have the Shakti weapon, then you'll be able to kill your number one enemy. But once you lose Kundal and Kavach, then you're not immortal. You can die easily. However, if you have Shakti weapon, you cannot be defeated in the war. So like that, Surya Devta came in the form of a disguise of a Brahmin and he told Karna what to do. The dream ended. Karna woke up in the morning. He went to perform his Gayatri and other whatever Sandhya or whatever morning things he had to do. And then Indra, as foretold by Surya, appeared in the form of a Brahmin. He came to Karna and Karna said, yes, Brahman, what can I do for you? My name is Karna. I am a king of such and such place. I can give you hundreds of cows. I can give you gold. I can give you land. I can give you anything that you want. Ask for a charity. I have taken a vow that no Brahman can go empty-handed from my kingdom. Please ask. And Indra, in the disguise of a Brahman, said, hey Karna, I know you are a great king. You are a great charitable person, but I have no need for a land, cow, and wealth. I only ask for one thing. So Karna said, yes, what do you ask? So the Brahman said, I only ask for your Kundal and Kavach. Karna immediately understood. Uh-oh. Finally Indra came. This is Indra, no one else. So Karna said, no, I cannot give you my Kundal and Kavach because I'm born with Kundal and Kavach. It's part of my body. If I give you Kundal and Kavach, then anyone can defeat me in the war. I can die. How can I give you my life? You're not asking me for charity. You're asking for my life. Kundal and Kavach cannot be separate from me. Then the Brahman said, Karna, what are you saying? You cannot give me charity. It means you're going against your commitment or vow not to say no to charity. How dare you say that? But Karna tried to talk to the Brahman. So actually Karna is trying to negotiate with Indra without telling Indra that he has recognized. So when Karna said, no, I cannot do this, so then Indra understood. And Indra came back his original form. Indra said, oh Karna, I'm pretty sure Surya must have come to you. And he must have told you that I'm going to come to you and ask you for this. I have asked you for a charity, you have to give me a charity. So then Karna said, well, Indradev, thank you for coming and giving me a darshan. I will give you my Kundal and Kavach in charity as you requested. But I have a favor to ask from you. So Indra said, yes, what is that favor? By giving my Kundal and Kavach, I actually would be giving my life to you. But I want something in return. So Indra said, yes, Surya Dev has come and taught you everything. What should happen? So, what do you want? You can ask for me anything except for my weapon Thunderbolt, Vajra. So Karna said, okay, don't give me Vajra, but give me your Shakti weapon. Indra said, fine. So Indra said, I'm willing to give you a Shakti weapon, but with a condition. First condition, you can only use this weapon once. Once you use this weapon, then this weapon will return back to me. So whom did Karna use the Shakti weapon in the battle of Kurukshetra? Who knows the answer? To whom did Karna was forced to use the Shakti weapon? You can type. I guess chat is enabled. Oh, chat is disabled. Yeah, chat is enabled now. You can type in. I have enabled the chat. Yes, it was Ghatotkacha. That's the reason I'm saying today and tomorrow's episode have a very close connection with the 18 days of war, which we are about to begin soon in the next week. Okay, glad. So, okay, all right, let the chat continue now. No problem. So, Indra said first thing, and second condition in the put in the use of Shakti weapon, Karna, you should use this weapon only in a condition when you have no more weapons to use. And you are on the verge of defeat. Only then you can use Shakti weapon. However, if you use Shakti weapon unnecessarily, the Shakti weapon would fall upon your head and will kill you. So Karna said, fine, 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 I will do so. Karna said, I will use this weapon only on my one enemy, the foremost enemy. And Indra said, Karna, I know who's your enemy, but I want to tell you something about that enemy. That enemy of yours, Arjuna, please understand, is protected by the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. How much ever you may want to harm Arjuna, you will not be able to harm Arjuna because he's under the protection of Krishna. Karna said, I don't care. Let this be our agreement. I give you my Kundal and Kavach and you give me the Shakti weapon, because if you give me Shakti weapon, that alone with Shakti weapon, I will be able to kill Arjuna. Otherwise, I also cannot kill Arjuna. I can only defeat him. And like that, Indra agreed. Indra told although that you cannot fight with Arjuna because Krishna is by the side of Arjuna. And then as the agreement happened, Karna with his own hand tore open the armor which was part of his body, and then he plugged out his kundal. However, before doing that, he requested Indra to bless him that his body will not be hurt. Whatever injury would happen, it would heal automatically, so that there are no marks of he taking out the kundal and kavach from his body. And like that, after taking out the kundal and kavach, giving it to Indra, and Indra giving in return a Shakti weapon, the episode ended here. Yudhishthir got to know that Indra had come and taken the Kundal and Kavach. So Yudhishthir Maharaj was very relieved. However, Kauravas, headed by Duryodhana, was greatly worried that Karna had given, because nobody had known that time that Karna had also got a weapon in return from Indra, that is Shakti weapon. And like that, everyone was now gearing up to get into the mood of war, because 12th year of exile has ended and the 13th year, which is incognito, is about to begin. For us, we'll be discussing some more incidents from the final year, 12th year of exile, tomorrow in our session. However, let's reflect on the character of Karna. Is Karna really a charitable person? He gave a charity not with an intention to serve that person, but in fact asked for something in return to fulfill his envious agenda. So why Karna was so evil? Why Karna was so hateful of Arjuna? Karna hated Arjuna like no one else. Anyone knows? I'll give you a brief reason, not going too much in details because our time is almost over. Who was Karna? And I'll give you a little bit information about Karna's past life. Karna, in his past life, was a great demon by the name of Dambodhva. Dambodhva is probably how it is pronounced, who was a great worshipper of Surya Devta. He had performed great austerity and pleased Surya Devta, and in benediction, he had asked for 1,000 kavach. And he had also requested a blessing that whoever is able to break that kavach should die immediately. And like that, he has asked for blessings. In other words, because of those blessings, nobody could fight with this Dambodhva, who got also a name of Sahasra Kavach. So everyone was worried and then Devatas appeared Vishnu, and then Lord Vishnu appeared in the form of Nar Narayan Rishi. Nar is Arjuna and Narayan is Krishna. So Krishna and Arjuna, they are said to be eternal friends. They appeared in the previous age as Nar and Narayan Rishi. So Nar and Narayan, so Nar will perform tapasya for 100 years, and then Nar will go and fight with Sahasra Kavach, penetrate his armor, and then die. And then Narayan would bring him back to the life, and then Narayan would perform 100 years of tapasya. Like this, they continue fighting with this Sahasra Kavach for a long, long time. When 999 Kavach were destroyed, when only one Kavach is remaining, so then Sahasra Kavach understood that now I will not be able to survive. I will die in the hands of this Nar Narayan Rishi, who eternally resides in Badrinath. So then he went and took shelter of Surya Devta. And that same Sahasra Kavach, when he took shelter of Surya Devta, when Surya Devta came and gave a child to Kunti, so that Sahasra Kavach, the envious demon, appeared in the form of Karna. That's the reason Karna was born with a kundal and kavach, which was given to him in his previous life as a blessing by Surya Devta. And that is a background story of Karna. We'll listen and we'll hear more about Karna on the 17th day of battle, when Krishna would ask Arjuna to kill him. At that point of time, 17th of the 18th day, and that point of time, Karna would say, Arjuna, you cannot kill me. I don't have weapons in my hand. And that time, Lord Shri Krishna would recount one by one all the sins performed by Karna. Like he cheated his teacher Parshuram, he lied to him that he's not a son of Kshatriya. He told Parshuram that he's a son of a Brahmana. Several times he ran away from the battlefield, leaving Duryodhana behind to fight by himself. He was responsible for insulting Draupadi, and he did not follow the instructions of Krishna. Many, many incidents are there. And then Lord said, Arjuna, this Karna is a number one evil. And because of him, Duryodhana and Shakuni, the whole demonic forces have become very strong. You should kill him right away. And this Karna from his previous life was Sahasra Kavach, and he was meant to be killed in the hands of Arjuna. And like that, Arjuna, on the 17th or 18th day of the war, killed Karna. So Karna, many people glorify Karna to be a great hero of Mahabharata, and they say Indra cheated Karna. No. If you study the life of Karna, which we'll discuss again when we go into the 18 days of war, here because Karna's character was involved, so this is the first character we have studied in our discussion. Most of the characters will study in the 18 days of war because many people die there. And after 18 days of war, we'll study the characters of Pandavas because they only have survived post-war. So Karna's character is not worthy of glorifying. Karna was of evil mind, was envious of Pandavas, and also he did not listen to the Lord when Lord instructed him to come and follow the advice of Yudhishthira. In other words, be the side of the Pandavas and fight against adharma, like that. So with that, we pause for today's discussion, where we saw Karna's role and activities in the 12th year of Pandava's exile. Tomorrow we'll meet and we'll have the 11th episode, where we'll be concluding the 12th year of Pandava's exile, where Pandavas faced trouble after trouble. 12th year was the most difficult year for Pandavas, and one after one, their life was threatened. What were the reasons? What happened with Pandavas in the 12th year? What were the circumstances? We shall discuss all that when we all, hopefully, Krishna will meet tomorrow evening at the same time. With that, we thank you all for joining us for today's session. And please remember, the session starts sharp at 7 o'clock. So I'll be happy if all the kids are able to join at the time so that they don't miss out the initial parts of the session. So with that, thank you all for your kind attention. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So we'll open the forum for question and answers if you have any. So let's allow you to, okay, chat is already open. If somebody wants to unmute himself and speak, they can unmute and speak one by one.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Adhira.
I have a question. I'm Dhruv.
Yes, Dhruv.
Prabhuji,
I have a doubt.
in that Kunti had to go through a lot of suffering as she
Yeah.
could not bear Karna and the Pandavas fighting. So what why Prabhuji Kunti done that she
Dhruva, one second. Let me just mute everyone and I'll unmute you because many people,
Hare Krishna
students are.
Prabhuji, I have a doubt. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Those of you have a doubt, we'll take your doubts one by one. So right now, Dhruva is speaking. I'm going to unmute him and then I will give you the chance. So those who want to ask a question, they can put on the chat box. Vishwakar,
Yes, Prabhuji.
you
Yes,
have the
Prabhuji.
right to unmute also?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
So you can unmute one by one.
Yeah, you
Yes,
take the
Dhruva,
name
go ahead
and
with your question.
Haribol Prabhuji.
So you're saying about Kunti's struggles.
Yes, I was asking that why did Kunti have to go through so much suffering?
Oh,
What
wonderful
bad
question.
karma had she done?
Yes. So Dhruva, when we discuss about particularly the life and the case of Kunti, I will address this question at that point of time. We'll focus on the discussion that we have done. Otherwise, it will become a little difficult for all of you to understand different characters. So if any one of you have questions from today's discussion regarding Karna, regarding Duryodhana's behavior, then you may speak. I see Adi Lakshman here.
Prabhuji,
Yes.
Yes, Adi Lakshman. What's your name? Adi Lakshman?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how do I say Adi Lakshman, right?
Yes, sir.
Prabhuji,
Okay. Go ahead, Adi Lakshman.
I have a doubt as when did Lord Krishna meted the Pandavas?
Oh, fantastic. So you're asking when was the first time Lord Shri Krishna met Pandavas?
Yes.
Okay, we have already discussed this. Who knows when did Lord Shri Krishna meet Pandavas for the first time? Please type in your answer in the chat box so I can see if somebody knows. So when did Krishna meet Pandavas for the first time? Who has an answer? Yes, we'll take everyone's doubt. No, not at Kamyaka 1. For the first time, so good question, Adi Lakshman Prabhu. So for the first time, please pay attention. Lord Shri Krishna and Balram met Pandavas after the when they had gone to the Swayamvar ceremony of Draupadi. That is the first time they met. And after that, the Indraprastha was established, and after that, they were exiled, and then they met again at Kamyaka 1. So when Indraprastha was established, they have already met Krishna many times because Krishna was present for Ratsriya again. Okay? All right, Adi Lakshman Prabhu?
I have finished my doubt.
Okay, thank you. I'll mute you. Who is the next person? I see Adira with her hand up. Yes. Those of you who want to ask a question, you can open your window so I can see your hand and give you the right. Adira, go ahead.
I wanted to answer that question.
Okay.
The
Great.
sacrifice that why didn't the
Adira, your voice is breaking. I'm not able to hear you.
Draupadi, so that's why Duryodhan had insulted Draupadi. That's why he was not allowed to do the sacrifice.
No. That's not the answer. There are two other reasons. Okay. So you all take it as a homework and come back and give me the answer tomorrow. All right.
Yes.
So I will ask others also. I see Nihar with his hands high up. However, I would also ask kids for the feedback for the session. How do you think?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Okay, do remember to give your feedback. Yes, Nihar.
Yeah, so the answer was that since Yudhishthir Maharaj had already done the Rajasuya Yagya, under his existence, Duryodhan could not be the Raja. Could not do the Rajasuya Yagya.
Yeah, so that's the one reason. There's a second reason also. Yes, correct, Nihar. So one reason is because Yudhishthir Maharaj is alive, the monarch is there, so no one else can perform. Okay, great. Utkarsh, and then I'll come to Kavya and Rohan then. Yes, Utkarsh Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. What is the date of the art competition?
Utkarsh will be announcing soon, maybe by today evening, if our things are clear. We are just
And
planning for
Prabhuji?
how the competition will take place. So most of the things are there. We'll inform about the competition soon, okay?
Okay, Prabhuji. And what is the topic
Or what?
for the art competition?
Well, let's talk about the question answer right now for the Mahabharata session. I'll tell you about the competition.
I'm asking it. Can you tell it now?
No, we'll announce in the message. You'll get to know. Okay, Utkarsh?
Okay.
It will
Today
be about,
evening.
hopefully today evening, it will be about Krishna's incarnations or Krishna's pastime. Okay?
Okay. Okay, Prabhuji.
All right. I see here Rohan. Yes, go ahead. Raghav Prabhu, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, this is Raghav.
Yes.
Prabhuji, I wanted to ask 3 questions.
Oh, we'll
That,
take one question at a time because many students are there. So among the 3 questions, you pick your best question. Okay.
Prabhuji, why do we keep Shikha?
Oh my goodness. Did I speak about Shikha today?
No, Prabhuji,
Okay.
I had a question.
Did you see my Shikha and got inspired about it or what? I guess
No,
my Shikha is
Prabhuji,
not
I
visible.
wanted to keep Shikha from like too much time, but because of school, I didn't.
Okay, so now you have a time, you have an opportunity in lockdown. So Shikha, at this particular portion, if you tie your hairs, that makes you intelligent. That's said to be a spot where you tie your hairs, then a person becomes intelligent. That's the reason in those days of Gurukul, all kids would have Shikha. That's the first reason. And second thing, the Shikha makes it very easy for a teacher to catch hold of the student when he is doing naughty things. So you can catch him with this Shikha and give him a tight slap or loving slap. That's the second reason. All right, Raghav. I'll go to the next person. Okay, who is the next person here? I see with hands up. I see Radhika here, or Krishangi, or Radhika, both maybe. Yes.
Prabhuji, what is meant by devastated?
Devastated means बहुत दुखी हो जाना.
Okay.
दुर्योधन ने इतनी मेहनत करके यज्ञ करा पर उसके यज्ञ में सफलता नहीं मिली क्योंकि उसके जो citizens say they were still complaining to him that you are nowhere comparable to Pandavas. So he was very, very upset. Okay. Is that Krishangi or is that Radhika? Yeah, you're unmuted. Oh, you're muted.
We
Unmuted.
both are it, Prabhuji.
So who's the one who asked the question? That was Krishangi or Radhika?
Krishnangi.
Okay, Krishnangi. So okay, both of you look alike to me. Okay, all right. Okay, who else is there? Hari Darshan, yes. And then we're coming to Vrinda, Kavya, and we have Rishikesh Katkar. We have Ritvik also. Will come. Yes, Hari Darshan.
You said that Karna had a cover from his last lifetime, but how did
Hari
he
Darshan
have
can't hear you. Your voice is very feeble.
Hare Krishna?
Little louder.
Hare Krishna?
Little okay. Yes, Naresh will come to your question. Go ahead, Hari Darshan.
You said that Karna had his cover from his last lifetime.
Yes.
Then how did he have the Kamandalu?
Not Kamandalu, the Kundal. So Kundal and Kavach were both from his previous life, which he had received as a blessing from his worshipable deity Surya.
Okay, bro.
Okay, thank you. Haribol.
Okay.
Who is next here? Okay, let's go to Vrinda up here. Vrinda, go ahead. Oops.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
What is the parva before Vana Parva?
Sabha Parv is the second Parva and Adi Parv is the first one.
And
Vana
what
Parv
is
is
the
the third.
present Parva?
Sorry?
What is the present Parva?
Vana Parva. Vana means forest. Vana Parva. Okay. Yes, Naresh. Your turn. Maisha, we are coming to you. Your Krishna's sketch we'll see quickly. Utkarsh, you got any drawing for today?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Naresh.
Prabhuji, I have a doubt.
Yes, please. Even I have so many doubts, but we can try to answer some of your doubt. Please go ahead.
Karna is a son of Kunti, but Kunti, why Kunti think Karna put in Pandavas?
I didn't get the last thing, Naresh. What did you say?
Why she want to put in
She want to take.
She want to take in Pandavas team?
Okay, let me paraphrase if I understood you correctly. So Naresh is asking why Kunti want Karna in the side of Pandavas.
Pandavas, yes.
Okay, Naresh will come to this question when we speak about this incident from the 18 days of war. So I'll be giving you the answer at that point of time. So I don't want to go ahead in the session because then some of you will get confused about so many information, okay? So if you are hoping to continue with the sessions, you'll get an answer when I begin the discussion of war next week. We're going to go into complete 18 days of war. I'm going to give you all the details. And we'll discuss when Kunti met Karna and when she spoke to Karna about this. When she disclosed to Karna that you are my son. Okay? And I'll tell you about that time. Thank you, Naresh. Hare Krishna. And here is Kavya. Yes, Kavya, go ahead.
Prabhuji, I have a doubt that you said that nobody could hurt Arjuna because he was on Krishna was his charioteer, and then why did not Krishna protect everybody, all the Pandavas?
Why Krishna did not protect it? Where are you, Kavya? Oh, you're there. Yeah, Kavya, go ahead. You're saying why Krishna was not protecting all other Pandavas.
Yes.
No, but Krishna protected, right? Because Arjuna had gone and met Krishna, and Arjuna asked Krishna to be with him on his chariot. That's the reason Krishna came on the chariot of Arjuna. If Yudhishthira would have asked, he would have done for Yudhishthira. And at the end of the war, who all were remaining? The 5 Pandavas. Okay?
Oh, and Krishna also, right?
Oh, yeah, of course, Krishna doesn't die. He's the Supreme Lord. Okay. All right, Kavya. So we see Aparna has a question. Is yes or no? Okay, because I see. Yes, Aparna. Is that what's your name?
Prabhuji, my question is, Duryodhana invited Pandavas for sacrifice ceremony.
Yes.
Which year of exile did this happen?
12th year. We are talking about the 12th year incident now. So as I said, this is in the 12th year. All right, Aparna. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I have one more question.
Oh, one more question. I have to give chance to everyone else. So whoever has to ask a question, they have to really find their best question. I'll come back to you, Kavya. I see Rishikesh Prabhu raising his hand for a while now. Yes, Rishikesh Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. I had this doubt that what is the Vaishnava Yagya and how is it different from the Rajasuya Yagya?
Well, these details I did not study. There's elaborate information about it given in the commentary by Ganguly on Mahabharata. But Rajasuya Yagya,
Yes, Prabhuji.
am I audible?
Yes,
Yeah, I'm
yes,
saying
Prabhuji.
I have not studied much in details of this particular Yagya, Vaishnava Yagya. However, the sages said that if you want to perform a Yagya comparable to Rajasuya, there is only one other Yagya, that is Vaishnava Yagya. Not much details are given about it. However, the only thing is it was earlier performed by Vishnu himself. Like that. And no other mortal being had ever performed it. So the sages said this is the only other Yagya which can be compared to the Rajasuya. What is so special about Rajasuya Yagya is this: the Rajasuya Yagya can only be performed by a king whose sovereignty or whose rule is accepted by all the kings of the whole world. So that's the reason it's very, very difficult. And it's a very special, and that can be performed. I mean, it's not easy for anyone to perform. It requires a lot of wealth, a lot of political and military might and strength. So for that, they sages said you perform Vaishnava Yagya because you're not qualified. And Nihar had given one reason because Yudhishthira Maharaj was living. And there's another reason, condition, that in case if we don't find, we'll give you the answer tomorrow. All right, Rishikesh?
And yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Let's go to, I see Madhvi and Deepak raising their hand. Who else we have? We have Vibhu also raising his hand. Okay, I'm coming to all of you. Yes, Madhvi.
Prabhuji, my question is why?
Madhvi, can I ask you a question first?
Mhm.
How old are you, Madhvi?
Turning 6 this year?
Sorry, what you said? You're becoming 6 this year.
Yes.
Oh, we have such a grown-up kid in our forum. A 5-year-old kid becoming 6. Madhvi, congratulations. So yes, Madhvi, what's your question?
Prabhuji, my question is
I'm listening.
my question is why did Lord Indra came in a guise of Brahman?
Yes, very good question, Madhvi. Very happy, intelligent girl. So, Karna had taken a vow to giving charity to any Brahmana who appears to him. You know, if अगर कोई भी ब्राह्मण के रूप में कर्णा से कुछ भी दान मांगने आएगा, so Karna would not say no. That's the reason Indra took the form of a Brahmana. Because if he goes in the form of a Brahmana, Karna would have to follow his vow. Okay, Madhvi?
Okay.
Because of the vow of Karna. Yes, we have Deepak Prabhu. Yes. I can hardly see you, Deepak. It's too dark around your place, but go ahead. Yes. Hare
My
Krishna.
question is that why Pandavas had tattoos?
Can't hear you properly. Say that again. Repeat your question, Deepak, again. Looks like we lost Deepak in the meantime. Okay, we'll come back to you, Deepak. Anyone else has any question? We see any new who has not asked. Ritvik. Yes, Ritvik. Is your
Hare
name?
Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes. Is Ritvik is your name?
Yes,
Yes, Ritvik.
Prabhuji, why Karna wants to kill Arjuna, Prabhuji?
Oh, as I explained, the animosity between Arjuna and Karna was from the previous life. Because in the previous life, Deepak, I'll come back to your question because you lost your voice, so I'm just answering Ritvik question. I'll give you a chance immediately. So in the previous life, Karna was Sahasra Kavach, and Arjuna was Nar, and Narayan was Krishna. And because Nar had destroyed Kavachas of Sahasra Kavach, so he was already envious. And that Sahasra Kavach appeared in this life as Karna, and that Nar appeared as Arjuna and Narayan as Krishna. So that's the reason, by default, he had this animosity, particularly towards Arjuna. He had nothing to do with Yudhishthira, Bhima, Nakul, Sahadev, right?
So he knew that Nar was Arjuna and...
No, not like that. Have you heard about reincarnation?
No,
Ritvik? Oh, really? Okay, I would request you, we have this, do you know about our YouTube channel, Evolve Pune?
Yeah, I heard of...
So I would request you to go to that channel and you will find a video on reincarnation. How old are you, Ritvik?
Prabhuji, I'm 12.
Oh, yes, you're grown up to understand the topic. So please go and watch that video. You're on the WhatsApp group?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So you go on the Evolve Pune YouTube channel, look for reincarnation video. In your, we have a dedicated group for all of you in a playlist, which is called as Vedic Wisdom. There's a dedicated playlist on the YouTube, Evolve Pune YouTube, Vedic Wisdom. There you'll find a video on reincarnation. Please watch it, Ritvik. If you're able to watch it, then we'll take this question again tomorrow. All right?
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare.
Yes, we do. Oops.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, we do. Go ahead.
Sir, Prabhuji, my question is, when did Duryodhan died?
When did Duryodhana died? That was at the end of 18th day. I believe 18th day is when Karna had died. And probably on the 19th day, we'll see this more when there was a club fight between Duryodhan and Bhima, like that. Exactly when he died is not mentioned because he was left to struggle and die slowly because his thighs had been destroyed by Bhima, which was just a matter of fact that he would die any moment, like that. Exact duration is not mentioned, but we'll still see that when we come on the discussion of war. Okay? Who else we have? Nanda. Yes.
Prabhuji, I had a question that why did Karna born as Kunti's son only? Why not others?
What is that?
Why Karna was born as Kunti's son?
Why Karna was?
Born as Kunti's son.
Why Karna was born as Kunti's son? Because Kunti was blessed by Durvasa Muni. He had given her a mantra. And if she called on that mantra, any devata of her choice would appear. So Kunti was a young lady at that time and she wanted to try out that mantra. And she chanted on the mantra with meditating on Surya Devata. So when Surya Devata came, and according to the blessing of that mantra, the Devata would have to give her a child. So Surya Devata gave her Karna as a son.
But why only Karna? Why not other baby or son?
Oh, well, then you can WhatsApp Surya Devata and ask him, what was your problem? Why did you give Karna? I don't know why did he only give Karna. I mean, he gave. I'm not Surya Devata to tell you now. You have to ask him only, why did he only give Karna, not someone else? Maybe he didn't have any other stock of any other babies. He only had Karna that time. I don't know. All right, Nanda. Who else we have? Maybe we'll come back to you. Anyone new who have not been? Yeah, Deepak. Yes, Deepak.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Deepak, have you kept your mobile or your laptop inside a locker? It's so dark there. Yes, go ahead, Deepak. What's your question? Hey, you got hanged again. Okay. Yes, speak up, Deepak Prabhu.
My question is that why Pandya has to go for Agyatwas?
Oh, why you have to go? So all of you have joined the sessions recently. That's the reason you're having so many questions. My request to the kids, please watch all the previous episodes of Mahabharata. We have had 9 recordings so far on the YouTube channel. Please watch it. You will get answers for all this question. Because Pandavas, Yudhishthira Maharaj had lost the second dice game. And according to that dice game condition, 12 years, Vanvas, and 1 year for Agyatwas, which means total 13 years. So 12 साल का वनवास अभी खत्म होने वाला है और 1 साल का अज्ञातवास अभी शुरू होने वाला है. And that was the conditions of the gambling match. Okay, Deepak Prabhu? You will find an episode of the gambling match. You can watch that on our YouTube channel. Okay?
Prabhuji, for drawing competition, which topic?
Huh?
For drawing competition, which topic will be there?
Sorry, your voice is somehow not audible to me. You can. Deepak, you can type in that point, huh? I'm not able to hear you. You can type in and our moderator will reply if it is about the episode.
He is asking something about drawing competition.
He's asking about?
Drawing competition, something.
Yes, you tell the drawing competition will announce.
Yeah, Deepak, we'll announce the details soon about that.
Nanda Kumar, you have your hand high. You want to say something? Hare Krishna. Okay, let's go to Maisha. I see Maisha's hand up. Yes, Maisha. Maybe a little internet issue at my side. Vishwakiran,
He's showing the 20. Yes, please, you are audible and yeah, you are audible. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I don't know what happened. All of the screen went off. You can type in the group the topic everything for the art competition will be announced soon.
Okay, Prabhuji. Okay. She's showing the drawing, Prabhuji. Maisha. She's showing something.
Maisha, you can. Somehow I'm not able to see any one of you now. Maybe internet issue. Please take a WhatsApp photo and send it on the group, as I always say all the students. Okay.